Good morning to all the millionaires. I hope everyone's doing well. All right, as you know, next week we have our BG Global Summit online. Okay, so I need all of you to help participate, but most importantly, invite people. Okay, because as we are running to become a booster, we must invite. All right. So let me start off by saying good morning to all the millionaires. And how you do anything is how you do everything. Okay. And tonight, I want to share with you a story. Okay. Because, some of you have met Brent, some of you have spoken to him, and some of you may not. So let me share with you. Brent Bryson is my direct upline at noon. And the last time I spoke to him was about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I spoke to him. But I have not seen him in person for probably now, 4 or 5 years and beyond. I cannot remember. Okay? First, why is that important? Because think about this for a minute. Nu Skin pays 5% unlimited on the width and 5% maximum 6th generation. Can you imagine? You have a business somewhere in the 50 countries, and you're getting paid 5%, but it does not require you to be there, to be running day to day. How amazing is that? I'm happy for Brett. I hope he can make, $200,000 for me every month. Okay? He makes money, I make money, right? But the point is, Brett is sitting 10,000 miles away from where I live at noon. And when he goes to sleep, Thailand is day. When we sleep, it's his time. But imagine one day, as you built this business, you're able to earn that. That is so powerful, and that's what we call the passive income. Okay? Now, to make sure that you are building the right passive income, we must come back to the most important. How do we get our business to grow? How do we get our entire OV to grow? Because if your OV grow, if your team grows, you have more BR, you have more Blue Diamonds and Team Elite, you get paid 5% 6th generation. So we go back to the simple 7-step workflow. I call that the BG workflow, right? Number 1, you got to set big goals. Okay? Number 2, you got to make that contact list. The thing is, when you are writing the names, you just don't think. Because the moment you think, you start to not write names. You start to judge. But we don't need to. Because every name can come with a referral. Okay? And then, of course, invite, present, and all that. But the most important is you got to start with the contact. Okay? Now, because we live in a different era today. Some of you can do this online, offline, whatever. Okay? But the key is you got to be a booster. That means you got to recruit, create 10 frontline BR, and always maintain 10 frontline BR. Why is that important? Because the only way you're going to maximize the 5% 6th generation is if you become a booster and your team becomes a booster somewhere in the group. Let's say you have 10 boosters. That's 100 BR. That's at least 15,000 US dollars in commission in your sixth generation. But more importantly, it's the 5%. That means that $15,000 commission is earned on a leverage income. Okay? Not just from your own effort. Okay, so let me share with you the story. You all know Jeff Mack, right? You know, Jeff Mack, the first time I met him was in 1997. When I first heard about Nu Skin, I flew to the US. I went to Provo, Utah. I saw Jeff Mack talking about products. And I didn't listen because I fell asleep. Half the room were asleep because we're just jet lag. Okay? And then Brent Bryson, he was actually my fourth level upline. Okay? That means Brent Bryson, he understood one thing, numbers. Okay? When Thailand opened, I remember in 1996, Brent told the story. He sent fax. We don't do that today, okay? He faxed out to the Chamber of Commerce, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce here in Thailand. And out of that, all the members that he faxed out, a few replied. But one of them stood out, and his name was Raymond Eaton. He was an Australian business person in textile business here in Bangkok. And Raymond said, I'm interested. So Raymond flew to the US, met up with Brent, and came back and said, I'm going to do this. And then he sponsored a lot of people, and somewhere along the line, he met Shanita. Okay? And then somewhere along the line, Noon and I joined Shanita. Okay? Well, probably about 2 years, Shanita left, Raymond Eaton left, and then between Raymond Eaton and Brent, there was another person. His name was Randy Bullock. Okay? He hung on, and at that time, it was a financial crisis, and my upline left. So Randy said, I think this business is done. And so Randy left. And then Noon and I, we rolled up to Brent's first level. And that was when Jeff and Brent flew to Bangkok and said, we have to assess and see what's left. Okay? And I remember Jeff Mack pulling Noon and I aside and said, you have to make a decision. You have to be a leader. At that time, we were like 24, 25 years old, and we said, let's do it. Okay? And from then onward, we've been at this for 30 years. Okay? So what am I trying to tell you? What I'm trying to tell you is sometime you have a downline. They may be on your second, your third, your fourth. You got to drive the line. And that's why I said it's hard to build a business. It's hard to help a person if they don't have anything for you to see, right? So you talk about setting goals with your team, mapping with your team, but there's nothing for you to see. So that's why we have the workbook, okay? The workbook is where they can make a list of names. And that's where you can ask them to pick out some good names and you can help them recruit. That means you're helping them driving the line. Second, you can see who they are planning to have as their 10 frontline BR. And as you're doing that, okay, that's how you build yourself to be a booster. That's how you drive the line. Okay? And of course, all this, I am selling you a dream. But it so happened that this company has created more than 2,000 millionaires around the world. So I'm selling you a dream that others have made money, right? But you have to sell yourself the dream. And I love the booster. You know why? Because I no longer have to depend. I can control myself. And all I need to do is create, build, maintain 10 frontline BRs. Okay? And with that said, we thought about a lot about this, and next year, just so you know, we are having the BG Summit online only in April and December. And we are doing a very long time that we haven't done it. We are calling it BG Live. Okay? And the BG Live is like a camp, BG Camp, plus BG Success Olympics. Okay, some of you never join us in our Old Days Success Olympics, right? So we're doing this event once a year. So it's like a welcome home wherever you are, whether you're in Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, other parts of the world, and of course India, all to come here to Bangkok and to celebrate success and direction of BG. And we do that once a year, and we're calling it BG Live, August 2027, next year. Okay, so I am excited about that. That is going to be amazing for all of us to get together. And definitely, let's talk about this coming event. Okay, next week we have our BG Summit, but of course it's online. And if all of us, right, we understand that new people is new blood. New blood is new hope. Okay? When you have new people, you're excited. You have hope, right? Because we don't know that person that we sponsor may be the next Team Elite. Maybe that person may bring someone else and we drive the line and they may be the next Team Elite. You know what I love about this workbook is that as you sponsor somebody, they make a list of 300 names. Ask them to pick the top 10 best and then let them tell you who these people are, and you go and recruit these people with them. And they are learning from you, and you are helping them. And if you get one person, go and get that person, list 300 names, and you drive it again. So for example, if I sponsor Ha makes a list of 300 names. Ha, pick me the top 10 best. Ha tells me these 10 are her best. I help her recruit. Let's say we get Queen An. Queen An signs up under Ha. Ha is under John. So we get Queen An. We get her to make a list. We go and drive and help recruit under Queen An. So if Queen An sponsors Dang Dong, and Dang Dong comes in, and Queen An and Ha and John, what happened? Now you have officially built a lake that is deep. And now we make everybody become booster. And that's how you will maximize the 5% width and the 5% depth. And all you need is a simple tool, which is the workbook, and that's it. It is something that is simple that anyone can duplicate. And this is going back to the basic. No matter where you live today, no matter how old you are, no matter how long you've been in the business, As I said, this is our lifetime business. And one day, you and me will probably be like Brent. And maybe we'll sit here in Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, wherever. And imagine you're getting paid from somewhere out of your country every month, 5%. We're not retired. This is a lifetime business. But imagine that. That is truly what I call freedom. Okay? So, last, I need all of your help. I need all of you to help us make this BG Summit, which is on next week, August 20th to 22nd. And I love for us to not just be there, but to actually invite. Okay? You know, nothing is ever too late. Everything is about you. Everything is about you starting. Okay? And I sold myself a dream. And for those that are like looking to do India, well, you heard it from us, right? That India, everything has changed. You can sponsor an OCI and they can go right direct to India and they can build the business. You can unlock everything. Is so simple now. So with that said, let's go and get people. Let's bring people to our global BG Summit event. Guys, I need all your help. I need your support. But most importantly, I want you to be a booster. Okay? So with that said, thank you so much. We'll keep it short tonight. Hey, thank you to every one of you. Okay? And soon to be, next time, I believe Zoom will eventually be like ChatGPT, where it can translate. Okay? That may happen 2-3 years from now. So I just want to say thank you to all the translator. You mean so much. Thank you so much. And guys, let's conquer the world together. With that said, good morning to all the millionaires and BG Conquer, and see you next week, BG Summit. Thank you.